If life gives you lemons, make lemonade. You've probably heard this saying before. This is a story about a little kitten who heard this saying one day. Once upon a time, there was a little kitten named Nik Nik. He lived with his mom in a small house by the side of a road. One day, Nik Nik's mom went outside to get some fresh air and see how their day would go. She had no idea that her life was going to change forever. While she was outside, she saw a woman holding a big basket. Nik Nik's mom quickly went to say hello to her and ask if she could do something for her. "Hello, ma'am," said Nik Nik's mom. "Is there anything I can help you with?" "Oh, hello," said the woman. "Well, actually, I'm looking for someone to take care of my rabbits while I'm away. Can you do it?" "Of course," said Nik Nik's mom without even thinking twice. She knew she couldn't leave the rabbits alone. They needed someone to take care of them. So Nik Nik's mom started taking care of the rabbits. Every day she played with them and fed them delicious food, and they all became best friends. But then something strange started happening. Every morning when Nik Nik's mom woke up, she noticed that one of the rabbits was missing. At first, she thought maybe the other rabbits were playing hide and seek with her, but she soon realized that wasn't true. One day she decided to wait and see what would happen. So she hid behind a bush and watched what the rabbits were doing. She wanted to know where the missing rabbit was going every day. After a while, she finally saw where the rabbit was going. It was running toward the same road it had been hit by a car a week ago. Nik Nik's mom was shocked. She didn't know what to do. She loved the rabbit and didn't want it to get hurt. She came up with a plan. The next morning, she took the rabbit with her to see what would happen. As they got closer to the road, the rabbit started running faster. Nik Nik's mom followed after it and soon found out where it was going. The rabbit had been trying to cross the road, but it kept getting scared and running back when cars passed by. Finally, when there was no traffic, the rabbit dashed across the road and disappeared into a forest. Nik Nik's mom was relieved that the rabbit hadn't been hit by a car. She knew it was just curious and wanted to explore the world beyond their yard. She also knew she couldn't keep the rabbit any longer because it belonged in the wild, not in a cage. So she said goodbye to the rabbit and returned home. When she told the woman who owned the rabbit what had happened, the woman was very upset. She couldn't believe her rabbit had been so naughty. She yelled at Nik Nik's mom for not keeping the rabbit safe and told her she would never leave her animals with her again. Then she took the rabbit back inside her basket and walked away. Nik Nik's mom felt bad. She had tried her best to take care of the rabbit, but it had still managed to escape. She knew she had to do something to make the woman happy again, so she came up with a plan. The next morning, she went to the market and bought all the ingredients to make a delicious pie. She baked it all day long until it was golden brown and smelled like cinnamon. Then she took the pie to the woman and knocked on her door. "Hello," she said. "Here's a pie I made for you." The woman opened the door and was surprised to see Nik Nik's mom. "Oh, hello," she said. "That's very nice of you, but I don't need any pie." "But why?" asked Nik Nik's mom. "You don't need to tell me why," the woman said. "Just go away." Nik Nik's mom was confused. She didn't understand why the woman didn't want the pie. She had spent all day baking it, and she was sure the woman would love it. As she turned to leave, Nik Nik's mom noticed something strange. There was a pile of dirty dishes on the woman's porch. She didn't remember seeing them before. But they must have been there for a while because they had already started to attract flies. Nik Nik's mom felt bad for the woman. She knew she was busy, but she also knew she couldn't keep putting off doing the dishes. Otherwise, her house would become a mess. So, without thinking twice, Nik Nik's mom started washing the dishes. She scrubbed and polished each one until they sparkled. The woman watched from the doorway, surprised by Nik Nik's mom's kindness. She didn't know what to say. When the dishes were done, Nik Nik's mom hung them up to dry and went home. She felt tired, but also very happy. She had helped the woman and made her house a little cleaner. She hoped that the woman would appreciate her gesture and maybe even become her friend. From that day on, Nik Nik's mom and the woman became best friends. The woman even started leaving extra food for Nik Nik's mom and the kittens whenever she went away. She also stopped yelling at Nik Nik's mom and instead thanked her for taking care of her rabbits. Nik Nik and the other kittens grew up and became healthy, happy animals. They lived in the small house by the road with their mom, who was the kindest cat in town. The saying, "If life gives you lemons, make lemonade," means that if you have a problem, you should try to find a solution rather than just complaining about your situation. That's what Nik Nik's mom did when she found the rabbit in her garden. She didn't just sit around and complain about it, But instead, she took action and tried to figure out what to do with it. In the end, she was able to solve the problem and even make a new friend. If you ever have a problem, remember this saying and try to be like Nik Nik's mom. Be brave, be kind, and never give up.